Okay, there it was, perfect. So, when you're check nymphing, it's really important to identify that there's two different types of hook sets. At least to me, there's two different types of hook sets. There's probably a dozen out there. So one of them is going to be a full hook set. That's just a helicopter cast, a hook set into a helicopter cast. Let me just demonstrate that real quick, but that's not what the video is about here. So I'm fishing along and something suspicious happens. I get a sighter hop or I feel the fish, and I'm going to set the hook on my downstream side like this, and I'm going to cast back up over the top in a semicircular fashion. Helicopter cast style hook set. What you want to avoid is snapping straight back like this, and that's going to sling your flies right up in your rod tip. I used to do that all the time. It's a rookie move. Think about your hook set coming downstream and then around in a circular motion. Okay, that's the primary hook set. When you put your mind on autopilot and you're just fishing through a run, that's what you're going to do most of the time. Okay, today's tip, very important. You're going to have certain situations that you get into where you don't want that style hook set, and I've got that scenario here. One, I've got a really sensitive spot right down here where I just know by reading the water, there's decelerating currents, there's a ledge right here. I know that's like, we call that the juice box, man. I know there's fish right there. And if I get my first drift or two in there and I go full set on the littlest taps or suspicious taps, I could potentially spook fish by raking my flies through there. If I'm gonna get a big trout, it's probably gonna be on the first drift or two, and so I wanna do what's called a half check. And my half check is just gonna be an assertive or aggressive downstream lead. If there's a fish there, I can finish and come into a full hook set. A couple of things happen. One, I've got a tree here behind me, so I need to mentally go, hey, I'm gonna be in a half check position here. So what I'm gonna do is I've done this. It's very important mentally to go, hey, I'm gonna half check. So if I have something suspicious, I'm gonna go ahead and lead ahead with about a 12-foot jig of my tip like that. If there's nothing there, I can go ahead and drop the flies back in, reestablish contact, maybe get another pickup on that same drift. If it's really important, you can't do that all day. That's like, you can teach this tip and people are like, oh, I'm just gonna half check all the time. You can't do it all day. It takes too much concentration and discipline. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step into this spot, and I've already decided mentally I have to half check this. I can't be lazy and just pull it into a cast because I've got a tree here and I've got really sensitive water. So practice the half check, lock in mentally, decide you're gonna do that, have some psychological discipline so you don't wind up in the tree and you don't wind up blowing the fish out of your really, really sensitive water right in here. So we're gonna step down in there. I'm gonna get in that box that's right in here, and we'll see if we can't get a trout. Go kill it. So there was a little half check. It was suspicious. There he is. Okay, that was a good example of how we want to do it right there. So I had what it felt like a take, and I don't know if it was a take or not. I'm a pro, and I still don't know every time whether I'm just making a little extra contact, or I'm having a fish. But I half checked it, and I brought it downstream, and then what I did is I missed it, or it wasn't a fish. I just re-dipped, re-engaged, found contact, and ended up picking a fish up later on in the same drift. And I just find that to be one of the more difficult things to do and learn and check nymphing is just that mind control of don't pull it into a full set all the time.